Good morning, everyone. Here I go again on a little journey, and if you listen attentively, you come with me on this journey. And you don't need to do anything. You just free yourself up from whatever it is that you are usually busy with, so that you can acknowledge what I'm saying. And not just acknowledge, but agree. And not just only agree, but understand. Understand and enjoy. Because all of these things, in my opinion, go together. And if they don't, then you are missing out on something. So, if you do not understand me, if you do not enjoy what I'm saying, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, you're not really listening. I'm not talking about anything for you to agree with, because I just know from experience that you will interpret what I say with your usual way of interpreting things, interpreting life, interpreting reality. Your views of reality are based on your disembodied language. It cannot be otherwise. I have embodied language. And even if you listen to me, even if you decide, in spite of your conditioning, to listen to me, you will still have to put in a certain amount of effort to hold back on all your stupid judgments and all your stupid opinions and beliefs, which I don't cater to and which I don't have any business with. If you don't want to do that, then you'll turn it off. Okay, then you turn it off. Okay, well then you turn it off. I don't care. I don't care if you turn it off. This video is not meant to convince you that you should keep listening. If you don't want to listen, well then don't listen. I don't care. I have something to say, which I can say because I have embodied language. I don't view the world in the same way as you do. And I know that everybody is involved in disembodied language. So I view the world very different from everybody else. Yes. And I don't view myself as being against the world. No. The world is against what I am expressing. Not against me, because I'll make sure I'll get out of the way. I'm not gonna have the endless, needless argument, the needless conversation in which nothing substantial can be said, in which nothing meaningful can be said, in which basically there's no chance for embodied language to emerge. I'm not interested in that. So I will do what I need to do to get out, to keep away from disembodied language. But here I am riding my bicycle, and it's early morning. It is just after 6, I believe. It's starting to get light, And you can either listen to me and hear what I have to say, or you can just go on living your miserable life, your tormented life, your conflicted life, your troublesome life, your anxious life, your problematic life. I don't have that life. I have a different kind of life than that. I live a happy life, a satisfied life. And it was funny, yesterday night I was just looking at some videos on the YouTube channel, and not my own videos, but videos that other people make, and came across videos that were made by behaviorists. And there was a time when I was really very much interested in behaviorism, and I've sort of just left that behind me, because all these people are they are endlessly arguing with each other. It's just really astonishing how much contentious disagreements they have with each other within a small subset of the population. The behaviorists, they're eating themselves, they're eating each other. And a similar thing is going on in the Democratic Party right now, where they're all now turning on each other because they can no longer blame it on Trump. Trump has an incredible mandate, and the American people have chosen very clearly, yes, Marie Jean-Pierre, Karine Jean-Pierre. You can finally say, it is very clear. She kept on saying, I've been very clear. No, you have never been very clear, lady. You've been lying through your teeth and you know it. But I guess that was your job and you did what you had to do. But you were just lying. But no, the liberals, they're now tearing at each other, blaming each other, accusing each other. Who's responsible for this failure? I just saw this morning also a very good sign that the viewership of the programs of MSNBC are significantly down, to the point that the owners of MSNBC, that is the channel where Joy Reid and Joe Scarborough and all these freaks, Lawrence O'Donnell, those are just such devious liars, these people. But anyway, they have been making their point, and now viewership is down like 40%, 39%, 50% sometimes. And that's really good. That means that people are no longer interested in this bullshit. Yeah. And so, and I would say in a similar way, everything kind of sorts itself out in some way. Yeah. That, yeah, at some point people get just sick and tired of the same old conflicts, the same old accusations, the same old pretentious narrative. And the question remains, while you're listening to me, and if you are a Republican, I hope you're also listening, because Republicans haven't really acquired the language of individual freedom yet. No way. Although they keep talking about freedom, and the importance of freedom, the language of individual freedom, which is of course embodied language, which is the language in which we listen to ourselves while we speak. Nobody talks about that. They rather talk about God, as if freedom of speech was given to us by God, which of course is total nonsense. I mean, if anything is clear in this election, this election in which Trump was almost assassinated, if anything is clear from this election, it is that all this talk about God is just a bunch of nonsense. Just like talk about Allah is nonsense, or talk about Yahweh or whoever they believe to be some higher power. All talk about religion is nonsense. All of it. And I dare say, of course, it is equally true that people who are atheists, they have disembodied language. They don't, just because you don't believe in God, your way of dealing with language hasn't changed significantly. So you may leave your God behind, but now you believe in, I don't know, in another narrative. And whatever that is, whether it is Republican or whether it is liberal, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, whatever you believe to be most important with your disembodied language, it's going to create problems. It's already creating problems, and it's going to blow up sooner or later. Because disembodied language always escalates. It has done so, and it will continue to do so. That is the nature of the language in which we as speakers force other people to listen to us, and we allow ourselves to be forced by others that we should listen to them and adhere to what they say. Be polite, be conforming, be obedient, be good followers, be devotees, be admirers, admirers of celebrities and people who are special and who are supposedly very knowledgeable and powerful and important. We have endlessly had disembodied language in which we as speakers were not listening to ourselves. And I have embodied language. I listen to myself. And what can I say? This is where I am. And I can say what I say. And if you hear what I say, then you must know, you must accept, you must acknowledge that you don't have embodied language. And it is, good morning, man. It is, of course, also true that you can only get embodied language by talking with me. Are you going to? And then, if you're going to talk with me, which of course is not happening right now, now you're just listening. And now you're just having to put in some work to not be immediately, by default, going into your usual interpretation of what a person says. I'm not like anybody else. I am totally different from everybody else. And you should know that. So that is already the case if you just listen to me now. You're not here, you're not talking with me. You're just listening to this video. But when you are going to talk with me, something else is going to happen. You're going to have your reactions, what you're going to say. You're going to, because I give you that opportunity to say it. I give you your good morning. Hi. I give you the freedom, the attention also to say what you want to say. But with a condition, I'm not into unconditional positive regard. Absolutely not. I am very much into conditional positive regard. I'm only going to treat you with respect and with, reverence. I'm only going to talk with you and listen to you to the extent that you are willing to admit that talking with you means a confrontation with my own disembodied language. Yeah, stop it already. Right away, boom. If you can't handle that, I won't talk with you. I don't want to talk with you. And you can go to hell for all I care. The whole world is full of people like you, and you can be part of the whole world. I don't need to hear you. I don't need to be with you. I don't care about you. Yeah? So, it has to be very clear that when you talk with me, that's how it's going to be. I know what I know. I'm not going to hide it because you have some bullshit that you want to push on me. Yeah? I'm not going to wait for you to finish with your diatribe. Yeah, no, I've already done that, and I've already figured out that no, I don't want to do that anymore. That has no purpose. It makes no sense. It doesn't go anywhere. It leads to nothing. It's just exhausting. It's just a waste of time and energy. So that's not what I'm into. I'm into this, yeah? And you should know this. You should know this from the get-go. There's no other way for you to get what I'm talking about. By getting into it right away, boom. Yeah. So, no whining, no complaining, no pushing back. The moment you push back, the moment you do that, I'm out. I'm not gonna sit and wait. I'm not gonna... I will tell you once, I will tell you twice maybe, and then it's done. I cannot wait. I go on with this. And those who want this, they come to me to have this. And then, they will be reinforced for that embodied language. You want your reinforcement, right? You want to be positively reinforced for your embodied language. That's what your attitude should be when you talk with me. Yeah, so when you are going to talk with me, you have already talked out loud with yourself, and you have already for yourself determined the difference between your disembodied language and your embodied language. That's how it should be. And I tell you, okay. You say, all these shoots. Yeah, indeed, you should. You have to. If you don't do it, I'm telling you, I'm not going to put up with it. So, before you come and talk with me, you must have already talked with yourself to the point that you know all by yourself there's a difference between how you sound when you listen to yourself, when you speak with yourself, when you hear yourself. When you have embodied language, you know the difference between your embodied language and your disembodied language. When you do not listen to yourself, you know that difference already by yourself because you have explored it. You have said to yourself, wow. You have said to yourself, wow, I can hear myself while I speak, yes. And you have said, oh, so that is different from when I do not hear myself while I speak, yeah. And you've acknowledged that for yourself, by yourself. Because you've listened to previous videos of mine and you've said, wow, that's awesome. I want that. That's what I've been looking for. That's what I couldn't get to. No, you couldn't get to this difference that you are now acknowledging all by yourself. You couldn't get to it because you were never stimulated by anyone to listen to yourself while you speak. I'm doing that, even when I never speak with you. So, so that's a prerequisite, right? It's a prerequisite that you have had the self-talk out loud with yourself, where you say to yourself, I can listen to myself while I speak, and then I have embodied language, which is entirely different from disembodied language, in which I do not listen to myself. Yeah? That is absolutely necessary before you ever even get to talk with me. Now, secondly, then when you get to talk with me, there needs to be your willingness to accept that I know more about it than you. It's just as simple as that. No, I'm not gonna be some master, enlightened master who is, I don't know, giving you a whack on your head with a, like these Zen masters. No, that's not how this works. It simply means I know more about this than you do because I have been exploring this for more than 45 years. And so, yes, I know more about this difference between disembodied language and embodied language than you do. And unless you accept that, unless you acknowledge that, unless you are respectful towards that, I'm also not going to talk with you. I'm just not going to, I don't know, if you want to talk over me, if you want to get out your whatever it is, your stuff is that you feel so inclined to talk about, which is just more of the same stupid bullshit disembodied language. If you want that, I'm not gonna listen to it. I'm not gonna, I may have done so in the past. I may have, be reluctant to push people away or be strict. But I cannot, at this point anymore, afford to do that. It is just not good for me to do that. I need to only be with people who want to have continuous embodied language with me. That's how I live, and that's how I would like other people to live. If you want that, then you talk with me. If you do not want that, then I do not want to talk with you. Yes, and there may be moments in which you believe you want that, and then your conditioning history is again playing up on you. These things happen. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just an inevitable part of this. Morning. It's an inevitable part that there is going to be many times that you flip back and forth between your disembodied language and your embodied language. But each time you should be able to determine, you should be able to figure out that you want to stop your disembodied language any way possible. You want to continue with your embodied language. That should be your perspective, regardless of how often it happens. So, I'm not here to encourage you. I'm not here to to make that happen for you. No, you make that happen for yourself. And unless you make that happen for yourself, I don't want to talk with you. So, you have some work that needs to be done. And if you do not do it, then go ahead and live your life the way you want to, but I don't want to have any part of it. So, Hope I'm making myself really very clear, because this is important. Without it being this way, you cannot acquire your own embodied language. You need to want it, you need to do it, and you need to be concerned about it. So, now, it's not so bad, huh? So, and this is not to any person in particular, yeah. This is to everybody. Everybody. I make no exceptions. No. Nobody is special. Nobody is privileged. Nobody is getting a better treatment by me for whatever reason, because I am more in favor of them than others. No. That favoritism also from my part, if that happens, it always happens because I have my own conditioning, which at some point comes to the surface again. And then I say, fuck it, I don't want that. It's just my conditioning, it's not what I'm about. So I have things to do as well, which I cannot do if I am busy with you. So you take care of your business, I take care of mine, okay? That's how it is. Yeah. And so, yeah, don't make it seem as if this is some spiritual matter. Yeah. I wouldn't even say this is a psychological matter, because this has nothing to do with whatever we believe to be psychology. This has nothing to do with what we know. No, this is something we don't know about, and we're only going to know about if we're going to let ourselves know about it and stop being busy with other people who will supposedly let us know about it. I'm not going to be here to let you know about this. No. You let yourself know about it, and if I let you know about it, I'm telling you, it is because you let yourself know about it. Do you get it? Do you get what I'm saying? That's all I'm letting you know. And that's how it's going to be. This is already how it is. You find your bed as you make it. You have the consequences of what you've done. And you have to deal with also the things you haven't done and which you may still want to do. The fact is, I'm not responsible for you. You are responsible for yourself. So, that's where it's at. So, I reiterate, I recapitulate what I just said. Before you come to me, you have already for yourself determined that there is an enormous difference between speaking while you listen to yourself while you speak, and speaking in which you do not listen to yourself while you speak. You have already for yourself explored that, and you come to me because you want to know more about it. And you come to know more about it in conversation with me. Yeah, that's how it is. There's no other way. And in that conversation, you will be confronted by me with your conditioning history. And you will have to admit that yes, I am right to point out your conditioning history, because I'm not going to point it out if it isn't happening. I'm only going to say something about it if you are again stuck in your own story. If you are again stuck in your same old stupid disembodied language in which you do not listen to yourself, I'm only going to let you know that you're going to get carried away again. I'm only going to tell you that if you do that. If you don't do that, I'm not making any comments. I'm enjoying your embodied language. Yeah? And I'm reinforcing your embodied language. And your embodied language couldn't be reinforced in any other way. So that is what this process is about. And look how pretty that is. The sun shining through the trees like that in the early morning. It's pretty cold, that's why I wear a jacket like this. But I'm gonna sit here for a little bit and just make a last couple of remarks about the importance of what I've just said. Yeah. Wait, I'm just gonna walk a little bit here. Just walk and have that background there. Here you see my bicycle. It is kind of funny to walk here with my camera in my hand. But you get it, right? I mean, this is what it's about. Yeah, I have embodied language. I know what it is. And if you want it, you come to get this, nothing else. Yeah? So, you know, a way to compare this also is by saying, okay, let's say you come to my house, or let's say you go to your friend's house, yeah, or to the house of your family member, somebody who you like and who you care about. Let's say you do that. You don't go there to, I don't know, to mess up their furniture or to break their plates. You don't go there to, I don't know, to destroy something, yeah, to break a window. No, you don't go there to, I don't know, to forget to flush the toilet and to take a shit. No, you don't do that. And ideally, you go take a shit in your own house. Yeah, I was reminded of this morning because I go to the gym, and then there's these people who go to the gym, and they first thing they do in the early morning, yeah, you know, I go to the bathroom or to the urinal there to take a pee, but the first thing they do is take a shit and stink up the whole place. Disgusting. Can you not do that in your own house? Do you have to do that in the gym? It is disgusting. Anyway, yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. But turning again to the way in which we deal with each other. No, you're not gonna come to my house to be disrespectful to my space. You're not gonna come to my house and yeah, do things to my house which I don't want you to do. Yeah. So my house is my house, and you have to adjust yourself to my house and to how it is that you are with me. And if you cannot do that, you're not welcome. So, and this goes together with the fact that you want to be with me. Yeah? I only want to be with you if you want to be with me. If you do not want, if you are disrespectful towards me, I feel you do not want to be with me, and I don't want to be with you. Yeah? So, I feel that very strongly, and I have for a long time accepted all sorts of people who in retrospect I have given myself away to because I wanted to have embodied language with them. But at this point, something has occurred, which is a sort of a follow-up on a video which I made just some days ago. There's something that has happened which has to do with this. My insistence on my insistence on other people coming to me in this particular way, as I was just explaining, has to do with the fact that I no longer am in need, apparently, because that is really what it is. I am no longer in need of the reinforcement of others about this. Yeah, when I speak about my embodied language, of course I was also in need of the reinforcement of others. But at this point, apparently I have done what it took to let myself know that my embodied language has been sufficiently reinforced. And what I'm saying with this is that, if you consider the English language, English language, I have certain words, tree, grass, sky, path, shoes, jacket, smile. The English language has all these words. Sorry. I have all these words, and I've acquired these words, I've acquired that language. And initially I had to learn that language. I took English classes in the past, but I also learned English by watching TV programs with TV series from America with Dutch subtitles. And so I was already learning from when I was watching Lassie or High Chaparral or Gunsmoke, Rawhide, all these series, Mission Impossible, so I watched many TV series with the Dutch subtitles. So I learned this language. So at a certain moment, like right now, and that's already way long time ago, I had acquired a sufficient amount of English words to make myself understood in English and to understand English sufficiently that I can read books, that I can listen to other people and understand what they're saying. And so there was a need for social reinforcement of my English language. There was a learning process, you could say. We call that a learning process, but ultimately it's not what we say it is when we are calling it a learning process, because it is actually having to do with the extent to which we use that language, the extent to which we use it effectively, that we are reinforced, or we are not reinforced. The behavior, the language is a behavior, that the language behavior is reinforced, the verbal behavior is reinforced, and then, these words are readily available. I do not need to search for these words. There's no such thing as searching for the right words. You just have the words available which you have been reinforced for. And so you acquire a certain vocabulary. However, we all know from history and from, in part also perhaps from personal experience, that spoken languages, they come and they go. Languages disappear when there are no longer any people to speak your native language. The English language has, you could say, become so important that many people started speaking English and spoke less their language of origin. And so languages have disappeared because people no longer spoke it. And that's just an inevitable aspect about language. that it is only there as long as people. Hi, how are you doing? It's only there as long as people speak it, as long as people use it. And then you can say, yeah, there are still dead languages like Greek and Latin or something like that, or whatever, ancient Greek language, ancient Latin language. All right. Well, you can say that language is still alive by those who still speak it, because they're still speaking it. Yeah, these Catholics in Catholic sermons. In any case, I just want to make that comparison with the language, because it is very simple with embodied language that it's very simple with embodied language that it is either there because it is reinforced, or it's not there because it is not reinforced. And so people can have all sorts of wild ideas about why things are the way they are, but a behavior is only there because it is reinforced, and because the consequences of that behavior have resulted in the future probability of that behavior either continuing or increasing in response rate. And so, yeah, why can I have as much embodied language as I do? It's because it is reinforced, and because it was reinforced. But as I've said, and this is why I make that sidestep into explaining something about the English language or any other language that we learn. At a certain moment, you have acquired a certain set of behaviors which no longer need reinforcement. Yeah, maybe a child who is learning how to speak, say, that's a table, that's a chair, that's a bed, that's the floor. Now, child takes great pride in saying these words, and parents is taking great pleasure in reinforcing these words. Yeah, now you say, that's an apple, good. Yeah, so that is very joyful process in which we acquire language, because in this way the child becomes more independent, because it can operate. That's why they also call verbal behavior operant behavior. It can operate on the environment with his language, with her language. And so we can talk with each other, and if we use our language successfully, our language has consequences which result in, I don't know, having a good job, having a happy relationship, all sorts of good consequences, ideally, right? Having real self-knowledge, having real knowledge of the world, all sorts of things, knowledge of what history or whatever. So the behavior at a certain moment is acquired. At a certain moment, you have, you may lose your memory at some point because you are aging and you don't use it so often anymore, and maybe then you maybe lose because you get Alzheimer or you get dementia. So those things happen, that your brains are not as good anymore. But the bottom line is, hi man, you are able to know at some point that you know what you know. Yeah, you know where your keys are, you know how to start your car, you know where you get your groceries. You know how to live your life. You have a job. You're able to do what you want to do. And you know who you are, ideally also. Yeah, they call that self-realization. But in any case, you just know what you know, and your knowledge is good. Your knowledge is truthful. Your knowledge is effective. And so effective meaning that you are happy with it. You do what you are able to do, and you're confident in what you do because you do it well. And so, yeah, I use all these words because I know all these words. I have no problem producing these words, yeah? So in the same way, your embodied language at some point, if you are honest enough about it to recognize, like, oh my God, I keep going back and forth between disembodied language and embodied language. But if you're honest enough about it, and every time you say again, wait, that is just more of the same old disembodied language. Yes. And if you talk with me, of course, it goes very quickly because I catch you immediately and I say, nah, get over it. That's just old school. Snap out of it. Come on. Yeah, we're not going to wait for that. Come on. I'm not here to sit here and listen to your stupid disembodied language. That's just not what I'm about, okay? So you gotta get that. You gotta get that really clear in your, not in your head, but you just gotta get that. Yeah? You gotta say, yes, Maximus, that's it. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna come to you and I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna let you have your say. I'm not stopping you. Don't get me wrong, you stop yourself. You're simply agreeing with me that what I say is true. That's what you do. And you are respectful towards me that I invite you to have this with me. What I'm talking about is embodied language. And yes, you can go very quickly if you talk with me because you don't need to endlessly hang into all the drama and all the trauma and all the conflict of your disembodied language. You don't need to do that. Yeah? There's really no need for it. Absolutely not. The world can be saved really quickly. We can make changes really quickly. But we've got to be realistic. Yeah? We can only be realistic. We can only be rational also. There's another aspect about this, yeah? You can only be rational if you have embodied language. As long as you do have disembodied language, you are irrational. Yeah? How can you be rational if you do not listen to yourself? Yeah? And yeah, you can have an excuse for why you are not listening to yourself. You can have, I don't know, some reason, but you're irrational, period. Yeah? And you keep justifying it with whatever distraction you have, whatever justification you have. I don't allow that. I don't care about that. I don't want to hear about that. So, are you up to it? I know. I have come my own. I've come a long way with this also, and I feel like I want to say this because if I do not say it, people don't know this or don't realize that this is how it works. But there is a way in which it works. Good morning. And I know how it works. So either you're going to be with me and let me be the one who knows it and who can show it to you. Yeah. And then it goes very quickly. Or you just keep on you basically just keep on going on with your disembodied language, and there never comes an end to it because you yourself are not ending it. Yeah, you need to end it. You need to end your disembodied language. I do not do that. I only say I only say cut it out. And then you have to do what you need to do to stop it. No. So it's not going to be heavy, or it's not going to be a discussion or an argument. No, there's no arguments with me. You can't have an argument with me. Forget it. So if you do that, I'm telling you, you're out. And I've had to learn to sort of put my foot down, about this. But in this video, I feel I do a pretty good job. in letting you know that I will put my foot down. Okay, bye.